Okay, here. Let's check that out. Oh, the upstream doesn't work. That's weird. Why? Public. Oh, here it goes. Wow, took a lot of time. Took a lot of time. This is weird. Okay. Here we go. Hopefully things are looking okay. Let's go up to 1080. Let's see the 1080 stream. Yep, seems okay. Okay. And let's hope that this is going to work. Hope the stream's going to be okay. It's been, it took a long time before it actually told me that I was online compared to usual. I don't know if it has something to do with today's problems on YouTube, but let's hope that it's okay and that it works fine. And cross our fingers. So hey everyone, welcome to this live tech show. We are in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. This is the live show where we answer your questions every Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2000 hours Universal Time. This is show 63. Now you're going to say, isn't it 63 last time? Yeah, but last time was so bad that I kept the slides and the questions because I deleted the show. It was just recorded so bad that I thought it was useless. So we're going to do this, and I was thinking of a fix, something that I can do to actually improve. So if, for example, the live stream would be bad, what I would do is disconnect but still continue to show as if I was live and then post the video afterwards. So not today, because I'm not set up for that, but starting next week, I'll have two cameras. I'll have my Sony Handycam that will record and my live stream camera. So if something would to happen and the stream would not work, at least the Handycam would still continue and record a show, which means that if for some reason everything is going wrong, I still have your questions and the show is posted later in the evening. At least that's going to be a way to have it working, okay? And for now, for now it seems okay. I'm full throttle here on the upstream, so should be okay for now. So hello everybody, welcome to the live show. Sorry if I look a little tired. I was kind of sick yesterday and didn't feel really well finally yesterday. So really sorry. I had some new questions today, so it's possible that I'm not going to be able to answer all the questions today, because we're going to go back through the questions of last week and try today. So hope that everything's all right, and thanks everyone. Hello everyone, my name is Gilles and I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So if we go back to some of the questions from last week as we start the show, and I hope that everything will be all right. And thank you everyone, by the way, for being here and being great fans. Of course, first things first, we have donations. If you like what I do, if you want to help me in any way, patreon.com/radioandcomputers is a place where you can actually donate. PayPal at the Yahoo email that you see here, and hopefully you can help me in any way. Donations have been coming in, and it's pretty cool. And basically, the money comes helps me a lot in purchasing new equipment and continuing with what I do. So thanks everybody that has already contributed, and hope that you like my content. First questions before we continue. Douglas saying is couldn't get a stable stream last week. So that's why I'm actually redoing the questions of last week. Because of that, last week was not only the stream was bad for all of you, but it was bad on the upload. So the picture and the upload was absolutely horrible. So with all the cutouts and the bad video output, I just removed the live show because it wasn't good. And like I was saying at the beginning, I'll be starting next week, not today. I'll have my Sony Handycam. So if something goes wrong, at least we'll be able to post an online version of the show if something goes wrong. So for now, let's cross our fingers on full scale here, which means that for now should be good. Like I said, yesterday I was sick, and so I didn't have a news bulletin. I stayed in bed like all day yesterday. So, and I'm still a little tired today. So, hey everyone, welcome to the show. First questions, computer and technology security. There were questions from, I deleted the posts, so I don't know all the names of the people that asked these questions. I remember there's Jacqueline McBride, and there was a few other people that asked these questions. Will security improve in the next few years with computers? Basically, security of computers and software is something that comes from basically the fact that humans actually create the computers and the software. So as long as computers, software are made by humans, well, the problem is that humans aren't perfect. So basically we have, flaws in the software, the hardware. Will it improve in the next few years? As long as humans build these things, there will be flaws everywhere, and there will always be, because there's, bad guys out there that always want to try and do something. So basically, this is, a good question. Will it improve? I'm not sure. Unless we find some way of actually making this better, or maybe having computers write code. So machines writing code might be better at making the codes. Once again, I don't go overly crazy with that, because the first line of defense in security is you. So the thing is, will security improve in the next few years? Let's hope so. But you know what? It's the human aspect that makes computer unsafe. It's what you do with your computer that makes it unsafe, for the most part. So, some people are there to do bad things all the time. And these people, well, basically, they are working 24 hours a day. It's like, it's their job. I always have been asked, how come these guys find all these flaws and problems in our software and hardware, or are so good at doing something that will lure us to that? And my answer is always, well, it's their jobs. Usually somebody is pretty good at its own job. Why? Because you work and you do this all the time. But you know what? The problem is, these guys are professionals and will do everything that they can to find some flaws. And why so many flaws in the software? Simple answer: it's made by humans. So basically, nothing. As long as that was the problem. Basically, humans making software, that's going to create the problems for the future. Favorite versions of Windows, we add that also. So what favorite versions of Windows do I have? Favorite versions of Windows. So Windows versions and what I think about each one. First of all, that was a question that was asked. And we'll answer at the same time the worst, the best, and the security. What I think of the security for each version of Windows. So if I had to choose what is the best, I love Windows 10. So I think Windows 10 is right now the best. It's really, really a great operating system. Windows 7 is actually not bad at all. But you know, when you actually go to Windows 10, you find that Windows 7 looks old suddenly because of the interface, the way that they redesigned it. Windows 7 does look old suddenly, but it is still a great operating system. Versions of Windows, and when I think about each one, Windows 95 was kind of cool. Well, if we start way back, Windows 3.1 is the first one that I've used. That was okay. Windows, it was fun because of the first time that I used Windows. Windows 98 was not bad. Windows Millennium ME was horrible. Windows 2000, which, by the way, don't mix with Windows ME or Millennium. It's not the same thing. And Windows 2000 was really, really fantastic because it was very stable. And that's why Windows XP, by the way, was very good, because it was based on Windows 2000 that was extremely, extremely stable also. Then we had Windows Vista that was a rather bad one at the beginning, but with the Surface Packs afterwards, it was better. They did improve it with the Surface Packs, but still, you know, one of those versions that try to forget. Windows 7 is great. It's a really good operating system, very stable, very, very nice. Windows 8 and 8.1, I loved. It was a little too... I think, you know, the mistake that Microsoft made with Windows 8 was simply the fact that they pushed a version that they thought everybody would be on a touch device, which was not the case. If they had made Windows 8 with a regular desktop and a touch desktop, depending on what you have, I think the reception of Windows 8 would have been better. Windows 10, for me, is the best. It beats everything. As for security, technically, Windows versions that are, you know, the latest version of Windows is usually the most secure technically, because they, you know, push forward new types of security and try to, you know, the Windows 10 sandboxes a little more what you're doing on the web. So these are things that you got to be careful. But you know, you're the security, you're the number one security. So basically, it's you before anything else. But Windows 10, I love. I personally, and you know, that's my personal opinion, because everybody has his or her best version of Windows depending on what you do. And you know, it's quite all right. You know, I think that I think, you know, we probably, some of us have a specific version of Windows that we love. Some people, you know, somebody said in the chat, you know, Windows 7 is very best. You know, everybody's entitled to his opinion, and depending on what you use, and it's all right. You know, I mean, it's not a bad version at all. Windows 7 is good. My personal opinion, simply, Windows 10 is, for me, the best. Internet connections. We talked about that also last week, because I had questions from people that said, well, why is it that I'm moving to a faster internet connection and I don't see the difference when I'm on the internet? And that is a question that is surprisingly one of the questions that I get asked all the time. I mean, all the time. And basically, it's a question that, you know, people tend to, will my PC be faster when the internet is faster? People don't see a difference on the computer's speed, the internet speed, which are two things totally different. So if you think going faster on the internet will make your computer itself faster, there has no effect at all. Internet speed has only a better speed when you are going on the internet. And then again, it doesn't mean you're going to see the difference because, for example, say you have the internet speed of 10 megabits per second, you move to 20 megabits per second. You doubled your speed on the internet. But all you do is watch websites. So basically, if all you do is watch websites, you won't see a difference at all from one speed to the other because loading of web pages is going to just be the same and nothing different. Where you see a speed difference when you're on higher speed internet is mostly for downloads. So if you download a big file, say you download the Windows 10 image file. Well, if you download the Windows 10 image file, then you will see that there is actually a difference in the download speed. You'll see that that big file is going to download much faster. But it's very, very interesting because people seem to have a lot of difficulty making a difference between what is, computer speed, your PC speed, and the speed at which it boots up than high speed. So I would say 1 out of 3 or 4 clients that I have will always say, oh, my PC takes a long time to boot because I'm on slow internet connection. Wrong. Has nothing to do with that. Your own PC speed is dependent on its hardware, on its age. A 10-year-old PC is slower than a 2-year-old PC in general. And it doesn't have anything to do with the internet connection. And one of the questions that was asked is, I have this internet connection, but when I go to speedtest.net or fast.com, it doesn't show up at that speed. Why is that? Now, many things affect your speed of your internet connection. So if you are on, say, a 10 megabit per second connection, okay, here I have 60 megabits, 60 megabit down and 10 megabits up. So if if you are connected with a cable, so right now, for example, I'm doing the live show. And to do a live show, because there's a lot of data in a 1080p stream, well, the upstream demands so much data that I connect directly with an Ethernet cable. So I've got like 100 feet, well, not a 50 feet Ethernet cable, category 6 Ethernet cable, connected directly in my router to this PC while I'm doing the live show because it's the only way that it's going to stay a good upstream. Because Wi-Fi affects your speed. So if you're connected with a cable directly to your modem or through a router, technically you should have pretty close to the speed that is advertised. So if your internet service provider gives you 10 megabits down, you should be technically at around 10 megabits down when you go to speedtest.net. But it isn't always the case. And the reason why it isn't always the case, it will depend sometimes on your type of internet connection. So to give you an idea, if you're on DSL, which is the digital subscriber line, you might actually have slower speeds than advertised. And the reason why, it's 2 copper cables. They are very, very easy to interfere with. So what happens is that because of the interference that can be induced in the cabling, a DSL connection might actually be slower than the advertised connection because your modem has difficulty connecting to full speed. So there could be a difference between the speed advertised and what you have. There are other things that can actually affect your speed. There's some internet service providers will do some throttling sometimes. So basically, you might see that your internet connection is slower also in the evening when everybody's on the internet, because it depends on the way your internet service provider's interconnections are done. If you're on Wi-Fi, yes, the farther away you are from your router, the slower your connection is going to be. To give you an idea, here I've got 60 megabits per second. When I am in the same room of my router, which is my office right here, I get pretty much 60 megabits per second on the Wi-Fi. But if I move here I'm in the living room, there's a wall between me and the router now. If I am, for example, here on this computer, which is on Wi-Fi right now, if I do a speed test, it shows me maybe between 25 and 40 megabits per second, I'd say. Why? Farther away, there's a wall that makes some degrading of the signal. The fact that neighbors are on Wi-Fi, so there's interference from other routers all around me. If I go in the summertime, I like to actually go outside in the backyard balcony to work on videos. So now I'm really far. There's many walls. I'm outside, so I'm outside a brick wall. So you know what? If I do a speed test on my backyard balcony, maybe I'll have between 5 and 15 megabits per second left. Why? Because now I'm really far. Signal's weaker. So the way that your internet connection and your router works and your modem works is the farther it is, the more there's interference between you and the device. Well, the slower it has to go to give a really good connection. So many things affect your internet speed, and it depends on your internet connection. Here I have it's an hybrid connection. Here it's fiber plus cable. So it's fiber up to the corner street, and from the corner street to here it's regular cable. So I get typically here I get, I 60 megabits per second is pretty much 60 megabits per second, even a little faster. I sometimes go up to like 63, 64 megabits per second. So, many things affect internet connection, and it is normal. So, but one thing that you need to do, but you might want to do, is if you're far from what your internet connection tests. So to give you an idea, if your advertised internet speed is 10 megabits per second, and you go to speedtest.net, and it says when you're plugged into the modem directly, and I mean you really need to be plugged in the modem directly to really see your real true speed of the internet. And you're supposed to have 10 megabits per second, and it gives you just 3 or 4. You might want to call your internet service provider and ask them, well, how come when I'm connected directly to the modem, do I have slow speeds? And remember that things like modems and routers need to be changed from time to time. So having a new router every 2-3 years is not necessarily a bad idea. Having a new modem from your ISP. If you've been on the same modem that's maybe 5 years old, well, your internet service provider probably has an updated modem that is maybe better at connecting to its service. So you can try and ask for that also. But there's a lot of variables that make your internet connection the speed that it is. Okay, another question we had last week was the difference between spam, junk, and phishing in email. And it's actually a good question. So basically, spam, junk, and phishing is a type of thing that you usually try not to want or avoid on an email. So what is spam? Spam is simply an unwanted email from something. So for example, if a company decides to send you an eme to talk about its products, and you never asked anything, you never made business with that company, but you still receive an email saying, hey, today's special is this. That's spam. What is spam? It's all the things that try to lure you into, what is close to fake advertising It's not still phishing, because phishing is different. But you can have, I don't know, Viagra, like half price for Viagra, stuff like that. That's spam. That's clearly spam. And usually that goes into a junk folder in your email. So, when you look at your email, on the left side, usually your email will have different folders. One of them is junk. So spam usually will go to junk. Sometimes it's called spam also. And basically, that's just, unwanted emails that you never asked for. And that's spam. Junk is a different type of email. Junk is, okay, you use a service and they start sending you emails. For example, you find a super cool recipe website and you're like, wow, this is fun. Now I can do almost every recipe that I want. But when you go there, in order to view the recipes, they ask you for your email to kind of know who is, coming to their websites. Or sometimes you need to do a small, inscription with email and password, and you need a little account there. And okay, sometimes it's cool because you're getting some emails from them and you find them interesting. But very often you have emails that start coming in from them that, you wanted to use the website. You just didn't want to have any emails from them. So that's more like junk emails. And finally, phishing is an email that's trying to steal your money in some way, or steal your credentials or personal information. For example, a phishing website is a website where you will have, for example, a fake bank page. It's going to say, oh, your account has been blocked. Click here so that we know that you can fix this. But it's not true. It's a website that imitates perfectly your bank's page. And when you click on it, click on the links, you're actually sent to another place. And they're going to ask you personal questions so they can get access to your bank accounts. Now that is the bad stuff. That is phishing. Phishing is, we're going fishing. We're trying to get somebody on the other end that's going to give personal information. And phishing is the worst of all because it's really meant to lure you into trying in thinking that it's true, but it's not. And they want to usually steal your personal info and steal all of your, to steal your money, basically. And one of the questions that was asked also with this was the difference, or using different emails to do different things. You know what? One of the things that I do in using email is create, actually from the start, from a very long time ago, when I started creating Hotmail accounts, for example, or Gmail accounts, I started creating something that is basically one account is for my family and my friends. Another account is for every website that I go to that I need to subscribe to. And a third one is clearly the junk stuff. So basically, I'll have one for friends and family, maybe one for business, and one that is clearly junk, meaning that everywhere that they want me to enter my email, but I don't care about their products or advertisement through email. Well, that email is just for that. So it's cool to have many emails because you can filter out what type of email you get. Because when you go to a website that wants you to subscribe to something, and you mix that up with your main email, with your friends and family, you start getting spam and junk, and you're through the emails of friends, family, or business, and it gets a little complicated. So by separating everything and having one for junk, well, the junk goes to the junk. The other one for business is just business stuff. And the other one for friends, family is just friends and family. And like that, it makes a really nice way of separating your emails and having, the junk one. I go to the junk email once every 2 or 3 weeks, and all I do is delete everything because I know there's nothing for me to read in there. And so at least it serves a purpose. It serves a purpose of not having my main email full of junk because of, going to websites. And that is why having more than one email is better. That was also a question. So I use more than one email because now it's just, using different emails for different things. Is one email provider better than another? It's a question I get asked also regularly. Why are you using Gmail, or why are you using Hotmail or Outlook? And that's a question that's very, very popular. People saying, well, is there a reason why you're on Gmail? It's simply a question of basically services offered by each one. I'm a tech guy, so I use more services from my email providers than most people. So for example, I have a Yahoo, I have 2 Outlook, and I have several Gmails. And the reason I have a Yahoo was simply because Yahoo was one of the first providers a long time ago, and we're maybe 1998, 99, that you can actually have an online email. It was one of the first to do this. So my Yahoo email goes way, way, way back to that time. Also, I use it for a few things that Yahoo has offered, like Yahoo groups and all of that I find useful with that. But my main emails, Outlook or my Hotmail accounts, which are business. I have a Hotmail business account because of my, everything that has to do with my personal business, because I'm self-employed and everything, and all that's very important for me. So, for example, information that I will get it is extremely important from different accounts that I open for business. Even things from my YouTube channels that I need to keep very preciously are in my Hotmail account, because that's the important thing, where everything that I know is important is there. And finally, Gmail I use because of the sync capability. Gmail has an amazing synchronization of calendar and all sorts of online services. So my Gmail calendar, if I go to one account or another, I need to anybody that I want to that I take in my calendar as an appointment and so on, well, it synchronizes my phone, my computers, everywhere. And Gmail is extremely standard, so the synchronization works with every device, and it's cool for that. And that's the main reason I got Gmail. And of course, you need a Gmail account to have your YouTube account. But it's cool because if I put here a calendar event, an appointment with a client, I know that it's already synced to the calendar in Gmail, and that if I use a computer, I will see the appointment. If I open my Windows 10 calendar, I'll see the appointment. It synchronizes everywhere, and I really like that. So that's why I use Gmail. And finally, what not to do in emails? Well, personal information email is not a great place for that at all. Remember that emails are not are not safe. Emails are not encrypted from point A to point B most of the time. If you put personal information in there, social security numbers say, you are sending in the clear your social security number. It's easy for anyone that has the time and the equipment to just grab emails that are going through the internet and look at the information on it, because they're not encrypted. So, personal emails should not have very, very personal things like, social security numbers, stuff like that. Try to keep it to the minimum of personal info in an email. And if somebody wants to have more personal information from you through email, contact them directly by phone. And don't use email for that. It's not a good thing, not a good idea. If you actually put a phone number, for example, say you put your cell phone number in the email, don't be surprised that you might start getting some text spam because somebody somewhere might have stolen. And be careful where you send your emails, because depending on where you're sending them, you might start to see an increase in spam messages and junk messages and phishing messages that you might have. So basically, that's pretty much what you need to be careful. So hey, hello to the chat room. We're already here. Hey everyone, Tim, Mario Game Master, Patrick, Manny, Grapple Pearls. That the Grapple Pearls, that game on Sunday was absolutely, you got to give one thing, is that game was absolutely fantastic. It was one of the best football games I've seen in a long time. It's unfortunate. I was actually thinking, I wanted the Falcons to win. And finally, it looked like, for a while that the Falcons would have it. But man, it turned around. It's incredible. So I promised, and that's the thing, on Sunday, because I had a little... I promised Gabriel that if the Patriots would win, that I would wear his Patriots shirt and cap on From the Couch show Thursday. So I lost, and I will be wearing that. And so hey there, Patrick, Manny, Gripple Pearls, Alton, Electra Thomason, Bobby Burgess, Henry 47, Jerry, everybody around. Hope I'm not missing anyone. Albert Zappa, Shervin Abdullah, hello there. Peter Sargent, hello there. And really love the yeah, that's the first part. The first half of the game was dominated by the Falcons. It almost looked like, wow, that's gonna be an easy win. And I did like the the Lady Gaga show. It was okay. I mean, I found it cool. I'm looking at the, social media is such really bad sometimes. They were saying on one of the articles I read today is how people found that it was horrible that she had a little belly. Man, who cares? I didn't even notice she had a belly. It's like, it was just enjoyable. That's it. Oh, Christine Bowman, hello there. Forgot to mention you. I did see you a little earlier in the chat, but forgot to say hello, Christine. And that's good. That's good. Jerry, 50,000, 50 million. You could have been 50 million on the Patriots. Just, send your check to Africa. But Lady Gaga was good. I thought it was good. One thing I want to talk today is, hey, at 6 p.m. today, 2300 hours Universal Time, we have a new show. And it's roughly an hour long. It's the Windows Insider Hour. and it is for insiders, and it is a great little show, I hope. So it's at youtube.com/Windows 10 for everyone that you will view that. And it will be every Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 2300 UT. And I think it's going to be a fun show for everybody that is interested in any way to insider information. Today is the first show, so we'll go to the basics today in that show. So that YouTube channel, by the way, is my other Windows 10 for everyone, which is being transformed into a major insider channel. It will be mostly insider stuff, and I'll keep more here. Here will be more standard, help videos and stuff like that. Okay, is Linux safe? Yeah, in general it is. As long as you have the latest versions and that you update it. It's like every operating system. You have to update it. Make sure that it's at the latest update. But yeah, Linux is safe. Hey, Sheriff's House. Nice to have you here. And it's interesting to have everybody on board. So, okay, there's a chat room, so that's why I'm distracted, by the way, people. There is a little chat room, and it's nice to have everyone here. There's a few questions I'll check out because some people are have sent me questions also on the on email, so we'll try to go to some of these questions also. We have a little time. Of course, it's only 3:40, and it's going to be interesting. So, okay. And so, okay, one of the things that I want to say, because a lot of you have asked me that question, and once again, I'm going to repeat that information. If you are wondering what happened on last week's show and why it's not online, the stream was bad, so everybody that was there knows the stream was absolutely horrible. But the upstream, what I'm sending out to the internet, was horrible too. Because here I have a way of knowing when my stream is rock solid. In Wirecast, there's two things that appear. There's the stream button that will start to blink, telling me something's not right. On the upper right corner of my Wirecast, I've got a 5-bar level. And that level usually is at 5-bar, like right now. Right now, it's a solid rock 5-bar. I know that I'm sending out the maximum that I can. I also have a visual of how many megabits per second I'm sending out the stream at 1080p. Right now, it's hovering around, between 3.5 and 4.5 megabits per second. So I know the stream is well, and I also have a visual on the channel itself with a green bar at the top, just under how many people are watching right now. So the upstream was so bad that the recorded show was really horrible. So I deleted the show and thought I'll do it again today because, anyways, the questions, even though I answered them, had 70% of everything that I said was not even there. So at least, we'll do this. And like I was saying at the beginning of the show, what I'm going to do is starting next week, not today, starting next week, I am going to have a second camera recording that will record inside my home. So if it ever happens again that the stream is really bad, no problem, because I'll take the video from the HD camera, my Sony Handycam, and put that online in order to make sure that everything is all right. So at least now I'll have a fail-safe, which will be, I've got a recording that I can put online if the stream doesn't work well, and I'll just, do an internal show instead of a live show if it's too bad. So a few questions that are coming in. One is also, by the way, for those that wonder and tell me, oh, when is what happened last week? What do you know what happened? You know what? It's a YouTube thing. It's like today. Anybody today that uploads videos on YouTube, all I can say one thing is that, boy, the upload to YouTube was really bad today. It was extremely difficult to upload a video. It didn't upload well, or if it did, it was stuck at 0% processing and nothing would upload. It was horrible. It was a horrible day for uploading videos. It took, all my efforts to try to just upload the news bulletin. And there's a website that I go to which is called YouTube Down, and it actually gives you not just if YouTube is working or not, but it gives you every type of problems that people can have. Upload to YouTube, viewing videos, stuff like that. So I went to the site and I saw that the number one complaint was that everybody had 0% processing, nothing's happening. So I hope that it's okay now, but man, that was really complex today to upload just a video. So now, what else do we have here? We have, let me just check it out here. Emails. So check the email here. Okay, so answering a question from Carol K. Stouffer, why the number 63 on YouTube was not posted. I sent you a reply also. And I want to thank Carol. She's a great contributor to the show every month. And it's very much appreciated. Had a funny thing happen, a sad thing. Somebody, I was surprised, on patreon.com, around the second or third of the month, you have your donations, what people gave you. And I'm used to a certain amount, And this month, the amount was way bigger than normal. And I was like, wow, okay. So, my first thought was, I hope somebody didn't screw up, how much money he's giving me in donations. And it gave me too much, And yesterday I got an email from a viewer saying, hey, I'm sorry, but I was overcharged for, my donations. I'm really sorry. What I wanted to give you is this amount, and it's way out of hand now. And so he was telling me, it's like, wow, now some of my bills are not being paid. And so I, of course, am giving him back his donations. And that's to give you, an idea of how fair I am, and there's no danger of losing your money or anything. I am sending back the money, the overcharge that he had, of course. This is normal. This is totally normal. And so, if you ever do a little mistake and give me too much or something, don't worry about it. You can say, hey, I wanted to give you this and I gave you that. And I'm really, really sorry. There's absolutely no problem there. Okay. What else do we have? So, yep, Alan, I'm okay. A few people were worried because of the lack of number 63, and it was just like everybody was scared. Everybody was scared that, something had happened. Don't worry, I'm here. I am here. And April Pearls, I will tell Gabriel that you hate his hat. Oh man, and I will look at your post. Don't worry about it. Okay, what else do we have here? We have Alexander in the Ukraine that says, couple of questions. Because I can't charge my phone in every place where I want using short micro USB cable from the box, I bought in local shop 1.8 meter length micro USB cable. But what I noticed, it takes much more time to charge my phone using this cable than when I use short Samsung branded micro USB cable from the box. Yeah, that's normal because of the cable's rating system. Now, you gotta know one thing, is that Samsung, for example, my Galaxy S7 phone, with the Samsung adapter and cable, is charging my phone at a super fast pace. Now, when you buy a different cable, it knows that you're not using the original cable because the original cable is rated for a certain amount of current. So that's why you're having a difference in charge. Same thing as instead of using the Samsung branded power supply, you buy another power supply that has a USB to charge. You'll see that it's much slower also because the two devices, the power supply and the phone, connect and do a verification before it starts charging to see, can I supercharge or just do a regular charge over this. So that's why it's happening. Would I be able to share internet from my desktop PC to Android devices if I buy a Wi-Fi adapter to my PC? PC connected directly by cable to the internet, and there the possibility to create home network to share files between PC and mobile devices using this adapter. You should be able to share the internet that you have through Wi-Fi. If you buy a Wi-Fi adapter, yes. It will give you the possibility to share your internet connection to your Android phone easily. Absolutely no problem. So, yep, no problem there. You can buy a little cheap Wi-Fi and basically it will work. It will work. No problem there. Samsung, yeah, rumors are that Samsung's Galaxy S8 would make its appearance maybe in April. Some people are saying by the end, there's going to be an event, the World Mobile Congress stuff. And some people are saying that by the end of February we could have S8, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it will be April. Everything is pointing for a Galaxy S8 in April right now, and I think that's where it's going to be. As for the question of yes, the 8, there will be a note, a new note. Samsung did say that the Note 8 will be the Note 8 will be available this year. They're going to keep the brand. They're really going to keep the brand. And yep, there's going to be another Note, that's for sure. Doing a money e-transfer, well, the best is to, if on your bank, if your bank does accept e-transfers, it's quite easy with the app with the app that you have on your smartphone, you can do an e-transfer very easily. I did that a few times with some with a bank with my one of my family members, and it works very, very well, and it's almost instantaneous. Hello there, Sean Robinson. Hello there, Jacqueline McBride. So nice to have everybody here. Let's check out other emails that we have here that you can maybe. We have Alan Luffman that says that according to I had a post last week about how they need to fix the way that Windows 10 updates, and he agrees with me that there really needs to be a fix in updates. We've got some news from Stephen Mail, and hello, my friend. He says due to personal circumstances, he in including limited internet access, he's unable to watch the live tech show or participate in the chat. So it's unfortunate. Sorry for that. Hope that it gets better. And of course, he wishes me much success in my future endeavors, and perhaps in the future it might become part again of all of this. So let's hope so. Wishing you the best, Stephen. It says, why does whitelisting never seem to work on both Google, Chrome, and Edge every time I do a site that has been whitelisted? It should work, because whitelisting usually means, but make sure that it's the domain that you whitelist. That's the major part that I'm thinking here. Sometimes we whitelist, but a specific place instead of a domain. Make sure it's the domain. So if you want to go to, if you want to whitelist YouTube, for example, make sure that you whitelist youtube.com, because if you don't, it's not going to work. It has to be the domain that you whitelist, not just a specific place most of the time. And it should work. I'll do some tests here and maybe have more of an answer for you. If make sure that it's activated also. Sometimes you whitelist, but you might need to make sure that you check mark that you whitelist and that it should work. But I think it's because it doesn't understand you're going back to the same website, and maybe it's where you actually what you enter of information for a website. Why does Microsoft Edge every so often seem to make me sign in on every website as if I cleared everything when actually did nothing? Make sure that if you're using CCleaner, that could be the cause. If you're using any type of program, and you can actually clear your history from outside of Edge. If you use these cleaner programs to try to keep your computer top shape, they will also erase what's in Edge. So be careful with that, because it could be an outboard program you use that does it. It could be a bug because it doesn't happen to me. It happened on one of my machines once, but it could be a bug also, and it's very, very interesting that you have that. I'm not really sure what to say about from checking that out. And you say that you're picking up an Acer Chromebook, which looks very, very nice. I got to say that what you're about to choose in the Chromebook department, it really, really looks great. So I think you're going to have a great machine with that. It's a really nice device, the Acer Chromebook R13, which is a touch convertible notebook. I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with that. It's a great, great device, and I think it's perfect. Really perfect. So, go ahead, But make sure that it's not your CCleaner that is removing the history and the stuff in your browser. Yes, tech companies, Bobby, are against the travel ban, and there's a real reason for that. By the way, I was reading today that a lot of people that came to Montreal, because here we have some really world-known universities in Montreal, McGill University and University of Montreal, and so a lot of students from other countries come here for their university degree. And it seems that a lot of them came from the United States, well, of course, came from another country, but came from the United States to follow some courses here. And now they want to go back. Some of them have jobs in the US. Some of them are employed by tech companies. And now they can't go back because they're on that list. They're on that list of countries, that people don't want to, and basically they are stuck in Montreal right now. And so Microsoft and Google and 95 other tech companies are actually against the travel ban because it's creating a huge problem. One of the things that I think they don't think about is that a lot of people that come from these countries that are blocked right now have really high qualifications and go into the US because a lot of tech companies need some people with knowledge. And unfortunately, one of the biggest problems, and here in Canada is the same thing, there's not enough people from the population that are going to school to get the knowledge and the requirements for the really, the skills required in tech companies. So one of the ways that you can actually get people to have those skills is to let's check out if people from other countries have the skills that we need. So a lot of people are employed, and basically now they're going out and they can't come back. And it's going to create a problem because even Microsoft, Google, they say, look, a lot of our employees now, if they get out of the US to visit family, for example, they won't be able to come back. So, it's just really a lot of problems, and I guess it's very difficult because it's like I never I don't like that because if you block a specific country, okay, I'm sorry, but it's not everybody is a terrorist. And just think about it. Will it really change something? No, it won't. It won't change anything. Matter of fact, I think creating that type of ban makes even more people mad and will maybe create even more problems in the future. Tim, got a question. I haven't looked into it, so I don't know. The old TV here is in converted barn is SCART connection. HDMI from laptop to SCART TV possible. You might need to have a converter box. I would say you will need maybe a converter box. So that's a good question, but I would think that maybe you'll need a converter box. For sure. Jacqueline McBride, your account details were taken by bad guys on a website that was breached September 29, 2016. I can't log in to delete my account. They took all my details from website. That is something that's very, very difficult. If you can't, a friend of mine happened to have that on his Facebook page. His Facebook account got hacked into, and he was unable to get back into his Facebook account. So what you need to do is to go on that website where it happened, Jacqueline, and you have to you have to go to the support of that website. Somewhere on the page, I don't know what website it is, but you go to that website and you should have a place that says support or help, and you can report. Pretty much every website that you go to has a place where you can report your account being stolen by hackers. So you tell them what account it is, your username. Don't give them the password, they don't need it. Just give them the username of that account. Tell them somebody hacked into your account and they're using it right now and they're trying to steal it. Now, you might not be able, because there's going to be some things that they're going to do, okay? If you have all the information of that period of time in September 2016, they might actually be able to help you and ask you personal questions that only you know concerning that account and tell you, okay, we're going to give you access back if you answer the questions correctly. If you don't know or can't really help, well, at least one of the things that it's going to do by actually reporting that account will be that they're going to block it. And once it's blocked, nobody will be able to use it anymore. And yes, it's sad because if you can't get access, it's just going to stay like that. But that at least is going to be blocked. Hey, Stephen Mail, nice to have you on board. Really, really cool. So basically, it's really a question of at least having a your account blocked for sure. What about new Windows OS in the cloud? Looks interesting. Well, it depends what type of personal information and what site it was, Jacqueline. What type of personal thing can they steal? What type of personal thing can they steal? From that account. Was it an account where you had some credit card stuff? What is it, an account where you, what type of personal info did you have there? If it's just an email and, nothing much more, doesn't matter. But did you have, credit card info? Did you have, all depends on what type of site it was. If it doesn't have much info except your username and a password and a little thing, just you didn't buy anything from there, or didn't have your full postal address, stuff like that. It's it's not that bad, but in the worst scenario, if really they would steal your stuff, there's one of the thing about ID theft that is probably the best is to contact the because if it goes with the fact that it's they might have credit card info and stuff like that, what I would say is you might want to go to your credit bureau, and from the credit bureau have them put an alert on your personal account. What's going to happen is if they can steal and use that info to, say, create more credit, you'll be alerted that there's some activity going on with, your credit, and you can maybe do something about it, call the police, all of that. But it all depends on what personal information was in that account. If it's just a username and password and a few little details, there's nothing really they're going to do. If it's a website that you did purchase some stuff that had credit card and all of that, then it's a little more complex. You should be careful. If it had, all of your personal information, your full postal address, stuff like that, maybe put a alert on your credit score so that somebody's trying to use your own identity to create some, credit for itself or stuff like that. And then call the cops. But really depends on what you had, what type of personal info you got there. Really depends on that. Mario Game Mister, what to do if an Android app isn't compatible? There's really nothing you can do. If an app isn't compatible with an Android version, there's really nothing you can do, unfortunately, about that. And it's unfortunately Steve Martin sent me a pretty funny picture of Lady Gaga that with a little arrow that points to her belly and says she ate her chicken dinner. She ate too much chicken or something. Okay. Okay, KB3211320. That's an old update that failed to install. From Peter Sargent, but successfully installed today. The thing that sometimes happen with updates is that they often are, will have a problem. They have problems sometimes because you'll have you'll be doing something on your computer and it uses different, background processes in Windows. And sometimes that prevents an update from installing. So that could be one of the problems here, is that you have a background process that just couldn't have the thing installed. But then you restarted and the next day that process wasn't there. It could be something you use. One of the things I've seen sometimes is on some specific machines, there's a program that you use all the time, and for some reason that program kind of, messes up the install process when an update wants to go through. So, it depends, and that's why sometimes it doesn't install one day, and you wonder why it installs the next. So many things can happen. The important thing is to really, make sure that you that it installs. At least that you have the updates, and that's the most important thing there for sure. Yes, Carol, I am tired today. I was sick all day yesterday. I slept all day yesterday, and just didn't do anything at all. So, but much better today. Much better today, but yeah, a little tired. Still a little tired. And I think it was food poisoning. I ate something yesterday morning, and I was feeling okay. I was tired yesterday, but I was feeling okay in the morning. And I ate something from the restaurant, and you know what? I started feeling really weird after that. So I think it's like food poisoning or something. But I'm much better today. And, well, You know, the pizza. There's like one thing about the pizza. I did eat some pizza with my brother at like 3 a.m. on Sunday night after the Super Bowl. I came back home quite late Sunday, Monday morning basically, and but the beer was okay, and you know, and I didn't drink that much, so it was not a hangover or anything. You know, I'm thinking maybe what happened is, you know, I got to bed late and I was maybe a little tired, and that mixed with some kind of bad food or something. I don't know. Well, internet security get better, and computers get better. You know, the security, like I said at the beginning of the show, is something that really is dependent on the fact that humans make computers, and so because human makes computers, they're not perfect. Will that be better in a few years? Not unless there's a way that maybe machines can actually come in the process. But and basically the you know, the fact that humans make everything. Well, we're not perfect, so there are flaws in the code, flaws everywhere. The important thing, of course, about security is to also remember that you are the security. So meaning that what you do most of the time, you know, there are unfortunate events. Like, for example, you were talking about, you know, the account that was hacked into. You know, it can happen and it has nothing to do with you in a case like that. But, you know, most of the time when something bad happens, it's, you know, the person first. As for internet, you know, there are guys that are really, you know, that they have a full-time job in just trying to find the problems in websites and trying to find where, you know, every little flaw here and there in order to take control. And that is something that, unfortunately, is the case. No, I'm not promoting Skynet. Actually, you know what? I'm a tech guy, but I am scared of the fact that computers and machines would, you know, take over and be capable of decisions. I think we need to have a very, very, you know, very, very good control of the machines that we'll have in the future. So that's for sure. You are watching the Live Tech Show. We are here every Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2000 hours UTC. We answer your questions. During the week, you can send me your questions at helpwithyourcomputers@gmail.com. And basically, you will have your questions answered, you know, at the next show when that happens. And yeah, Grapple Pearls. That Kaspersky, you know, I would love to really know the, you know, behind the scenes look at Kaspersky and why exactly and what happened there. It's a very, very interesting question that I have. You know, knowing how Russia can sometimes mess up things easily. So, oh yeah, absolutely, Tim Robinson. There's actually a coalition of tech companies like Microsoft, Apple are part of it, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg is part of it, that is against, or, you know, it's a coalition that wants to impose strict rules on machines and computers with artificial intelligence to make sure that they do not try to kill us, basically. And it's something that, you know, you have to think about, because I mean, the U.S. Army is already producing killing machines. And these are autonomous, and with artificial intelligence in the future, they're going to be even more autonomous and capable of, fixing themselves and all of that. That's scary when you think about it. So, I think it's not a bad idea that if somebody, and especially these big companies, if these big companies think it's worth it to, do a coalition and try to impose rules, I think that means these companies also know that it's kind of scary when you think about it, of the future of, these machines. Jacqueline says, someone's trying to steal my sister card details on her old Apple laptop. Yeah, well, if she changed, her password or accounts and stuff like that to make sure that nobody can go in, shouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I did Grateful Pearls, by the way. I do see your tweets every time that you send me and everything. It is, it is something, it is kind of interesting. And, it makes me wonder, should you get Kaspersky internet security on your PC? I don't know. It's very difficult because every time I talk about antivirus or something, and, we talk about, when I tested the antiviruses, for example, I was talking how I liked the 360 Kihu 360 Total Internet Security that's free. And of course, I just in passing mentioned that one of the things that, we have to think about is it's Chinese antivirus. And with all what the Chinese are doing lately, what tells us that they're not doing something wrong in that antivirus? I would hope not. And of course, I got some hate mail because of that, because a few people said, oh yeah, because they're Chinese, they have to be bad. And that's not what I mean. What I mostly mean, and it's the same thing, the Kaspersky story. I got some hate mail from a few Russians that said, yeah, you North American think you know everything. Yeah, right. We aren't messing up anything and we haven't done anything bad. And it's like, okay, believe whatever you want to believe. It's your right. It's not that. It's just that, different countries have different rules. And sometimes politics and the countries and the rules kind of mix to a point where you're like, that's, we don't know. So, it doesn't mean it is bad. It might be perfect. And doesn't mean that Kaspersky has anything wrong. It can be okay. But these countries do not basically do anything, and they could do something, and these countries are not in the same rules. And of course, we got to think about everybody else. You never know. Even a country like Canada or in the United States, there could be something wrong in some software, and we wouldn't know. Nothing tells us that it's any safer to have a U.S. antivirus company than a Russian or a Chinese or we have to hope that it's not the case, unfortunately. And if somebody does something bad, well, at some point I think we're gonna know about it. Well, at least one thing, Jacqueline McBride, about the browsing history, because that's something that I often have people tell me. It's like, oh, well, I've got, it was often when, one part of the things when a client of mine says, hey, I'm going to give my computer to somebody else. So they always tell me, can you clear the browsing history and all the links to whatever to make sure that I do not, they don't see what I was doing and everything. But remember one thing, it's simply one one thing, and your update history does not give the passwords. Your update is your history of browsing history and everything is mostly your username and stuff like that. But I can tell you that when you have a computer that somebody might have stolen or was sold and nothing was removed, there's still most of what you see is okay. There's the automatic. One of the things that I say that should not be done all the time on the browser. Never save your passwords in the browser. When you go on a website and that website, once you've entered all the details of your account, your browser tells you, oh, you want to save the password. That should always be known. And actually, I don't think any browser should keep a password. Not because they can steal the password, because you see just little dots and there's no way of getting the password there. What happens is that, unfortunately, if you would have somebody else use the browser or the computer, well, they could log in to your accounts because of that. So, that's the thing here that is important, So, but try not to keep the passwords in. That's the most important thing. At least that limits the problems. And also that's also why you should really clean everything up. I always say to everybody, no, let's not just clear history or anything. When you give your computer to somebody else or sell it to somebody else, clean install of Windows, or on a Mac, you clean install Mac OS. What would happen if I kept the Windows Mail and Calendar app and deleted my Outlook Mail? Well, Gripple Pearls, if that's your main account in your Windows machine, you will not be able to do that. You will not be able to, because if you delete your Outlook Mail and it's linked to everything, you're going to have a lot of problems. Your Windows is going to not work right. In Windows 10 particularly, it's not going to work right. And you worry too much about your Outlook Mail anyways, Gripple Pros. But you need a basic account. You would have to, before you do delete your Outlook Mail, create a new user account that uses an entirely other email, and then delete the main user account before you delete your Outlook Mail. So basically, what else do we have? What else? But when you actually change computers, you really need to make sure that you delete. And the best way is to really well, be patient, Gripple Pearls. I know that Microsoft has said that eventually they're going to allow the removal of Skype from Outlook Mail. So when, I don't know. Oh yeah, for personal data. Somebody that's, one of the things a lot of people are scared with personal data is, oh, well, okay, even if I reformat and everything, won't they be able to take data from my hard drive? And I always tell them, just take a hammer, like Patrick Manny says, hit your hard drive with a nice big a nice big whack with a hammer, and unless they're the FBI or the CIA, Ripple Pros, maybe not. Maybe not. But if you do want to remove your Outlook, you'll have to create a new account, move everything there, and delete the account, the main account that your Outlook is. That's that's one of the things that maybe is sad about linking Windows user accounts, and of course managing them with a online account, a Microsoft account, and so on. Yeah, Windows Cloud. I changed a little subject. Windows Cloud is, of course, an online cloud version of Windows, basically, that you can access. No, the mail and calendar app are not connected to Skype. They're connected only to your Outlook account, and that's it. Only the Skype app, there's a Skype preview app in Windows 10, only that is linked. But the Windows Cloud is something that we don't have enough details to really know for sure, because it seems that it's going to be, I've seen demos where it seems that you can do pretty much everything you want. The thing is about it is it seems to, because right now it seems to only work with Universal Windows Platform apps, which would tend to tell me that's kind of an ARM version of Windows like they had in the first Surface RT, which means unless you run, or your favorite Universal Windows app is there, you're not going to run Windows 32 apps in there, which makes it kind of useless for the moment being. So I don't know. That's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But for now, we'll see what happens. But I think it's limited right now. I really think it's limited. Hello there, Josh. Nice to have you here. When you disable an account, it doesn't remove it right away. It says after a month. That's normal, because one of the things that these companies know is that usually some people will actually, delete their accounts and say, oh, okay, now I've deleted my account. Then a week later, they're going to say, oh my God, I want to have my account back. That's why they don't delete accounts immediately. Hey, Jim Maley. Yeah, if I can get myself a Chromebook, that's what I would like to do. That's what I would like to do. I want to try to get a Chromebook. And I think, I don't know, where they're trying to go with that. That cloud Windows, by the way, Stephen Mail, but might not compete with Chromebooks. It depends on one thing, because you got to know that Windows is very business oriented. Every business is using Windows, and the businesses don't want Chromebooks at all. So there's going to be that's going to keep. There's going to be that keeps Windows and maybe cloud version. But, if it doesn't run Win32 apps or programs, I don't think it's going to work. We'll see. And for Chromebooks, I want to get myself a Chromebook. So eventually. But money's short, so I have to make choices for sure. Grateful person. I think Microsoft should let users decide which apps and services they wish to associate their Microsoft account and not have stuff on my default. Yeah. But you know that that is something that is Microsoft, let's do it and shove everything, and who cares? And that's one side of Microsoft that I understand they want us to use their services, but they shouldn't do that like that. I totally agree with you on that. They really should let us, choose. When you do the Microsoft account, they should actually ask us, please put the check mark in front of what you want to have and what you don't want to have. But they're never going to do that. They're very pushy. Microsoft's very pushy. And Mario Game Master, Windows is 90% of the market. 90% of computers are running Windows. That's incredible. ARM processors are becoming extremely powerful. Extremely powerful. And you know what? I do think they will compete with Intel and AMD. Like I said, when they were talking about how Windows can run on ARM, you know what? One of the first things that I thought is I want to see a PC, an ARM PC that has Windows 10 that works in it. And maybe even, like it could be a Chromebook. It could be a Chromebook / Windows, because you could have the Chromebook side and you can dual boot maybe with Windows 10 in ARM. And from what I see is that a lot of the programs seem to run really smoothly, because you got to remember it's an emulation inside ARM. And basically they really, you would think an emulation would kind of run slower. Demos that I've seen, it runs as well. So that could be really interesting. That could be really, really interesting. And I think ARM processors will compete in speed and performance. They already compete in battery performance. That's, there's no question about it. They are almost there, if that's for sure. It's on the way that it's going to be brought to us. Chromebooks it depends on the Chromebook you want to buy. Chromebooks are anywhere from like 100, 129 up to, you can have $1,000 Chromebook if you want. Depends on the hardware and stuff that they have. So, but yeah, Dribble Pearls. Microsoft has this habit of forcing everything on everyone. That is true. So, hey, we're going to say goodbye for now. This was a cool show. Thanks for being here, everyone. Remember, on my Windows Insiders channel, in about an hour and 20 minutes from now, I'm going live with the Windows Insider Hour, a full hour of insider previews, insider information. Anyone that wants to join in will be here in about an hour and 20 minutes. And basically, I think that's going to be pretty cool. And what question do you have, Hoot Paladiel? And so basically, we'll talk about insider previews, the insider program. Today's episode 1, so I think it's worth it to start off with the basics of why the insider program, and it's going to be really cool. So the show, is at 6 p.m. today, Eastern Time, 2300 UT. And of course, don't forget, Thursday is From the Couch with my nephew, Gabriel. And hope you enjoy that show also. Have a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody, for being here. And you guys are great. Girls are great. It's always fun to have everybody here. When your PC goes on sleep and it stays stuck there, usually it is two things. It could be the way that your power supply handles powering back up every device. There are some settings in the BIOS for that. It could be because you need to update every driver that you have for the sound. Check out your manufacturer website for your PC. Make sure that you updated your drivers for the network card and the graphics adapter and everything to the latest versions. Drivers are often a problem, and basically the drivers really often are the biggest problems in having a PC that goes to sleep. And I gotta say one thing, some PCs never work well with sleep. I've seen PCs that there was absolutely nothing to do except just tell the computer, don't go to sleep. Never go to sleep. So when I see a computer that's like that, I change the power settings and have it just, power down the hard drive and the screen and nothing more. So take care, everybody. And we'll see each other in a little more than an hour and 20 minutes with the first Windows Insider show. Hope everybody knows that it's on the other channel, Windows 10 for everyone, youtube.com/Windows 10 for everyone. And we'll be there soon. And don't forget, Thursday, from the couch with my nephew, Gabriel, where I will be humiliated wearing my nephew's Patriot caps and t-shirt. Take care, everybody. And see you maybe in just over an hour. Bye.